All right, what's up, YouTube? This is BoxingWave back with another video. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel. This is gonna be my last video talking about Naoya Inoue for now. I found out this morning that he suffered a fracture to his eye from that fight with Donaire. Okay, he was actually seeing doubles throughout the fight. Okay, so that kind of explains why his defense was so poor in the second half. I said in my post-fight review that it seemed like in the seventh, eighth rounds, he was getting hit with every right hand that Donaire threw. Okay, it wasn't moving his head at all, and he probably really didn't see the punches. On top of that, he was cut over that right eye. For him to receive a fracture, it's probably for some of those left hooks that Donaire landed. Kind of explains why he was getting hit with everything that was getting thrown at him at one point of the fight. Okay, those middle rounds there. All right, so he gets a lot of credit though. He still gets a lot of credit because you fight him with a fractured eye and still able to drop Donaire, almost stopping him, and come off with the win still. Okay, finishing strong in that fight shows a lot. It shows a lot about you, and that's what I was kind of saying. A lot of people felt that he was exposed, and it is what it is. People gave some pretty solid explanation on why they felt he was exposed. Not exposed as a fighter overall, but exposed as in some of his weaknesses and flaws were exposed in this fight. And I agree with some of those points. But overall, it was still a very good performance by him. And I can't wait to see him fight again. He's going to be sitting out for a while. And, just got to wait and see what happens. All right. All right. So let's talk about just real quickly. I wanted to give you my opinion on who I think is the most trouble uh, fight, the most dangerous fight for him. All right. I think Zolani Tete is definitely the most dangerous at this point at 122. I brought up Louis Neri before. I brought up Ubali. Okay, Ubali's who just recently beat his brother the same night. Who's holding the WBC title. He's trouble for Inoue as well. Okay, these are all good fighters. People are talking about 122. Navarrete, Ray Vargas, and also they're talking about Ringendow. Okay, as well. All good fights. All good fights. There's so many options out there. But I personally believe at 118, I think Tete is going to be the worst. It's going to be the hardest fight for him to win. Okay, because of his size, his length, his height, and his power as well, and his left hand. He's going to be a tough fighter to beat. Okay, especially with seeing fights like this and seeing some of his flaws in his game. Tete is going to be the most difficult guy to fight at this time, I believe, at 118. Okay, 122 is a different conversation. All right, but at 118, where I think he should stay for now, I think Tete has the best chance of beating him. Ubali's a tough fighter, he's very strong, he has power as well. He's a good southpaw as well. You have Neri, who's very, very powerful. All right, crazy KO ratio and can box well too. But I think Tete will be the most. Who would give him the most trouble at at 118 for now. Okay, not saying he would win, but I think his chances would be greater at being the monster over anybody else at 118 right now. Okay, and Tete is unfortunately Tete was in the tournament as well, but he had to pull out a fight before fighting Donaire because of an injury. All right, so we didn't get to see what would have happened if Tete stayed and had fought Donaire in that tournament. All right, and one last thing I wanted to discuss a little bit. I got a couple of comments about him turning down the WBC title. Okay, it was a diamond title on the line for this fight. Okay, now this diamond title to me, you know how I feel about WBC and their straps. The WBA too. They have a whole bunch of titles, but the WBC is the worst one. Right? We already made videos about franchise title, full title, diamond, silver, interim. You got intercontinental. You got local. Country titles. All this. They got a bunch of titles. All right, this diamond title is not the real title. Okay, Ubali beat Takuma Inoue, and he was defending that title against the brother Inoue. And that fight, he holds the WBC full title. All right. Now, at the end of this fight, Inoue did turn the title down. Okay, he didn't want the title for whatever reason. I don't know the reason on why he didn't want the title. All right, maybe it has to do with something about his brother just losing the full title. All right, his opportunity to win the full title. He just lost. So maybe that has something to do with him. I don't know what it has to do with. I don't know why he turned down that title. Okay, but he clearly didn't want it. All right, we're just gonna have to hear from him on why he turned down that title. All right, but there's a couple of people that are saying that he turned down the title because he doesn't want to be a part of the WBC because he doesn't want VADA testing. All right, listen, you know me on here. I'm not gonna sit here and jump the gun and say that he's juicing because he's avoiding VADA. Is it possible? Yeah, I can't put it past any fighter at this point. Any fighter could be cheating. It's just so common now. A lot of fighters are cheating. But I can't assume that he's not with VADA because he's cheating. Okay? Or he's not with the WBC. I'm sorry. He's not with the WBC because he's cheated. Now, I want him just like every other top fighter to get drug tested. I do. So if anyone's suspicious of him, fair game. It's fair game. As long as you're not part of VADA or any kind of drug testing, people are allowed to be suspicious. But feel that way about everybody that's not getting VADA tested. If you feel that way about everybody that is not involved with the WBC rankings or anything like that. And that's a whole lot of people, even if you're including champions or top 5, top 10 contenders of every division. That's a lot of people right there. So if somebody says, all right, this is why he did it, listen, I'm not making that assumption. Because there's other reason why he might have turned down that fight. Maybe he doesn't want the shit. Maybe he doesn't want it because it's not the real title. His brother just lost opportunity to win the real title in a fight right before his. I mean, what is it? What exactly is the diamond title? It's not the full title. It sounds good. What separates the diamond title from the silver title? You know? Or the intercontinental title, or whatever other crazy title that the WBC have. We already know they have plenty of them. So him turning it down, I would like to hear from him himself on why he turned it down. But I'm not going to jump the gun and just make some kind of assumption that he turned down the title. He's not involved with the WBC because he's juicing. All right. But anyone that's suspicious of him, it's fair. It's fair. I mean, he's a very small guy and he's extremely powerful. So it's fair. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's plenty of guys that's around those weight divisions that are very powerful as well. We're not going to just go and say, well, all right, he's strong, he's small, and he's knocking everybody out. He is juicing. No, everybody in their respective weight classes, there is a guy that's in there knocking out people. It is what it is. So I need a little bit more to just assume that he is juicing. But I would also like to know why he turned down the title. Maybe it's because of the reasons why I just said. Maybe because he realizes it's not the real title. Maybe he doesn't want to be involved with the WBC. I don't know. I have no idea. It could be anything. It could be anything. But I'm not going to jump the gun and say that this kid is juicing just because he's not in the WBC rankings. I'm not going to do that. All right. Other channels might, but not me. All right. What I do know is he is the full IBF and WBA champ at this time. I think Tete owns the WBO and Ubali owns the WBC. All right. So, down the line, let's say he fights Tete next, or maybe there's a opportunity to be unified or undisputed, and he just says, no, I'm not going to fight for the WBC title because for whatever reason, we don't get a reason. Then I may be a little suspicious on why he wouldn't fight for the WBC title, especially if he holds 3 of the main titles. Then at that point, but right now, there's not enough. Just him turning away or turning down a bullshit title is not enough for me. For me. For anyone else, that's on you. Believe what you want. I mean, this is a sport. It's a dirty sport. So I wouldn't put it past anyone at this point. You know, even the people that are in VADA could still be juicing. You know? So I'm gonna leave it at that. But it was gonna move on from Inoue. That's my final thoughts on him. I think that Tete is his most dangerous opponent at this time. Um, but he needs some time to rest that fractured eye he has. It definitely explains why at some point, and I think a couple of you guys said that in the comments too. I think a couple of you guys were like, I think the cut, or the blood might have been in his eye and his vision was impaired, so he probably was getting a hit with a lot more punches than he would normally get hit by. All right, so I'm gonna leave it at that. See you guys on the next one. Peace.